John 11:17 through 44, we witness an encounter between Jesus and his friends, Mary, Martha, and finally Lazarus. We have seen Jesus encounter these two women before, as Martha was busy preparing a meal and Mary sat at Jesus' feet, soaking up his presence. This encounter in John 11 is different. Lazarus, their brother, is very ill. The sisters know that the only way their brother will live is through Jesus' healing ministry. Jesus knows this too. Only he delays returning to Bethany, and in that delay, Lazarus dies. Martha went out to meet Jesus as he came into town. She begins her greeting with rebuke to Jesus for not coming when they called him, but then a bold statement of faith. Verse 22, "But even now I know that God will give you whatever you ask." Jesus reassures Martha her brother would live again and proclaims himself to be the resurrection and the life, that anyone believing in him would never die. Jesus then asks Martha if she believes this of him. Martha beautifully affirms that she does believe Jesus to be the Messiah, the Son of God, the one who has come into the world from God. When Mary joins them, she has the same reaction as Martha. "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Yet, Mary doesn't follow with a bold statement of faith. Her grief and that of other mourners troubled, even angered Jesus, and he demanded that he be taken to Lazarus' tomb, which is where Jesus wept. Some thought he was weeping for the loss of a friend. The text, however, hints that Jesus wept at the unbelief of some in the crowd. He was weeping over those who didn't understand how Jesus could heal others and yet not keep his friend from death. Angrily, Jesus told them to roll the stone from the entrance of the tomb. Martha protested because the smell of a 4-day dead body was going to be a bit whiffy. Jesus reminded Martha that a few minutes ago she had said she believed he was the Son of God. The tomb is opened, and Jesus prays to God, thanking God for his attentive ear for the sake of those listening, that they might also believe. Then Jesus shouted, "Lazarus, come out." And Lazarus, bound in grave clothes, came out of his tomb. The passage ends with, Jesus told them, "Unwrap him and let him go." It is hard to understand in the moment why Jesus would intentionally delay his healing of Lazarus. And the delay was intentional. In 11:5, we're told Jesus waited 2 days before being summoned by Mary and Martha to return to Judea. Jesus' arrival on the 4th day of Lazarus being dead is also significant. In those days, when a person died, a check would occur on day 3. This check would ensure the person was not really dead and not merely passed out. In hindsight, as those who know what happened next, we can glibly say, Jesus, as God knew, Lazarus would be raised from the dead. And this is true. Jesus had foreshadowed that this was not the end of Lazarus' life, that this resurrection would be for the glory of God and God the Son. Sometimes the circumstances of life start to feel like grave clothes, being tightly wound around us. And Jesus is 4 days too late. We have the choice to respond as Mary and sit in the feelings of accusation and betrayal, not understanding the work Jesus is doing in the waiting. Or we can respond as Martha did. Martha gets a bad rap in the other story, and Mary looks like a saint by sitting at Jesus' feet. So we see immense growth in Martha in this passage. Here, Martha turned to Jesus in her grief. She was raw and real with Jesus, yet she displayed boundless trust in Jesus as the one God sent. In her words, even now, God will give you whatever you ask. Martha, in her belief, is learning. It is the work of waiting where Jesus' glory is displayed. This Lent season, who will you choose to be, Mary or Martha? Can you hear Jesus calling you forth to be set free from the grave clothes in your life? May you find yourself unwrapped and let go, unwrapped and free to serve the glory of the Messiah, the Son of God, the one who has come from God.